Hello everyone. So, welcome you to the next video session. So, this is on the exercise problem itself. Some of you wanted to have this also done. So, we have made a video on this. There are 6 exercise problems. If you have checked your manual, we have thought to do for 2, the first 2, remaining is for you to solve. So, looking at the first exercise problem. So you have these many features. Say there is a base with 2 slots for maybe screw or bolt to hold, and there is a vertical post and circular feature with the through hole in it, and there is also a slot here, vertical slot, which is like allowing the nut to tighten, tighten it, the nut and bolt to tighten these 2 parts together. If anything enters here, shaft like thing, you can hold this part tightly with the application of force through the nut that goes inside, bolt and nut that goes inside. So because of the slot, that play will be there. So the dimensions are mentioned. The base is like 50 plus 72 on the left side, and here it is around 140 I suppose, or 110 or 120 I suppose. And similarly, this part you can draw a rectangle and extrude from the bottom. That could be the first part. And this circle from the base, say they have given the dimension to be 56 or 96 from the base. So center point, from the center point, the height of the center point of the circle is concentric circles. So that is going to be 96 So that is one reference. And one more major reference from the same base center point is like the center point of the circle. So if there is a semicircle about it and the circle inside concentric, so that will be 144 above. So say everything is like symmetrically placed. You can find out what is this distance and how much it is like offset from the edge and this edge, and say the slot, how thick it is, and what is a semicircle radius, and what is the center point. Everything is given, and the diameter of the inner circle and the outer circle is mentioned, and the thickness of the slot which has been taken is also given. So 27 and 27 is the length on either side, and the radius of this inner circle is R15, and the diameter it is like I'm not able to read it out. You guys might know it better, I suppose. So with all these things, we should be able to give it a start. So I'll just move to the point where we start working on the sketch directly. So there's a little time it takes to open. Okay, just one more clarification. I think I wrongly mentioned, say the diameter of the smallest circle is 12, and the outer circle, semicircle's radius is 15. So there I got lost. So kindly get it clarified on your part also. So moving on, we are going to the usual way of starting the sketch. So I'm just naming the part, call it as per your convenience, and give it an based choice and choose the plane on which you are going to draw the sketch. Yeah, and I have chosen the sketch view. So the first thing that I'm going to draw is a rectangle, the base. So I've just chosen the center point based rectangle, and I'm going to change the dimension accordingly. So one side was 120 and other side was 72, and I've extruded it into the height prescribed, around 18 if I'm right, and I have to do the second part now. So the second part, how I'm going to draw, it could be, say what I know was the circle, it hangs in the air at a particular height from the ground. So I can do that, extrude the concentric circles, and then on the surface of the cylinder that I get in the air, I can draw the remaining vertical post, part of the vertical post, which comes and connects the circle to the base that we have created. So this is how I'm planning to create. Say this is no one way. There is no one way to create. You can choose your own way. But I'll give you the reason why we are following this procedure a little later. Okay. So let us get on with finding the plane on which I'm going to draw the concentric circle. So it should be the middle plane, which is vertically, say, placed. I've chosen that plane, and I'm going to draw the circle there at a prescribed height from the bottom. So how much is the height? Around one. Not able to read it. Okay. So the circle, concentric circle, is like made into a cylinder of a certain thickness, a hollow cylinder, and I'm adjusting. So I'm not going to explain, say, inch by inch. I think right now you're, say, well prepared to do it on your own. This is just to guide you if at all you face any problem midway, so that you can come back and fall back on this whenever you face any problem. You're supposed to do all these things on your own. So dimensions and other things, kindly you take care of it from the original sketch given in the manual. So I'm done with the creation of the hollow cylinder, and it is floating in the air. So I'm just going to draw the vertical post, which is going to connect the hollow cylinder to the base. So what I'm going to do is, I've used the reference feature to create a point on this circle, outer circle, so that I can draw a line. I'm going to try doing that from that given point to down. So that is the first line for the vertical post. So I'm not able to create a connect at the bottom. So I'm using the same reference again, and again redo the same line. So do the same thing on the other side. If you have features, you can connect it, or you could use the reference to pick up points. So what we are going to do next is, say, I can as well could have made a rectangle here and extruded and cut off this, say semicircular part here. So instead, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to draw a curve here. So these two lines, this line, third line, and this arc, say, which is going to sit right on the cylinder, on the surface. So these four features will make a closed circle. That is what I'm going to try now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a circle here to here and cut all the remaining part and leave only this part, and that will give you give me a closed part. Yeah. So this pink thing, it shows me a closed feature that I've obtained. So I have to keep the distance uniform since it is a symmetrical feature. So you fix one edge to this edge, this corner to edge distance, and then internal distance. Then the remaining distance will be symmetrically placed on its own because of the constraints that the sketch that you have made originally will place on itself. So I'm going to depend on that. So those are the steps which are going to follow. So for symmetrical placement, which is not symmetrical now, the pink part, it is like offset on the left side. I'm going to push it to the right. How I'm going to do that? Say fix the edge to corner distance. That is the first thing I do. And the distance from the one edge to the next is all already fixed. So once that is done, so here I wanted to mention this. So if you see, there is no additional feature which projects beyond the outer surface of the cylinder, right? It doesn't go inside the cylinder. This brownish or whatever color beige or what color is this? So that part, it doesn't enter inside the cylinder at any part. So if you follow any other way, if it projects inside the cylinder, so that by now you can actually cut it after you create it. But the problem is, what would happen to this material which is merging with the thickness of the cylinder itself? So that you cannot remove. So what happens later is like, while you go for analysis purpose, while you add mass to all this material, so that hidden material which is merging with the cylinder, that will also add its own weight to the component. So you might be confused. As per your design, it might be 1.1 kg, but say because of this modeling error, you might get the simulation based or the analysis based weight of the component to be 1.2 kg, which is an error, a gross error it is going to be. So for that sake, it is always good to follow this methodology. So kindly understand this part. If you are not able to understand in one go, you just watch the video, my say explanation once again, you might understand better. Yeah, I'm just going to move on. I'm going to offset it to the prescribed thickness, and yeah, that completes the bottom part of the vertical post. And on the top, there is a through hole to be made for the bolt and nut to pass through, bolt and pass through. So how I'm going to construct that? So again, the same plane on which I drew the bottom vertical post, I'm using that again. So the procedure is going to be the same. And the next thing is I'm going to draw a circle and remove all the unwanted part. And the remaining part will give me a pink color closed cross section. So that I'm going to extrude. That is what I'm going to extrude. So you know the thickness to which it is to be extruded. If 15 is the dimension of the radius of the curve, semicircular curve, so you might have to extrude it for 30, right? So once that is done, yeah, that's what is being shown here, R15, so diameter will be 30. So obviously the width of the extrusion will be for 30. And what is the height at which the center of the circle is to be placed is being formalized now. Even the topmost part feature, the edge, is formalized now. So once all these things are done, so you are making it symmetrical from one edge to the next. It should be aligned with the center axis of the already built part of the component. So that is being adjusted. So everybody can have your own way to do that. There is no one way to get it done. So we are just trying to offset it, make it aligned to the center. So a few steps it takes. So as usual, I'm aligning it one corner and the edge. So if that is done, it is going to move to the left, and then I can say control the width. Yeah, it has moved to the left. I'm going to control the width or length of the cross section. So once that is done, so now it is complete. I'm going to extrude now. So after extrusion, say there is no interference of material. So I have to say the baseline has to be adjusted for symmetricity. So you know where to do it. Once that is done, the edge has to be made round, R15. So I'm going to use the round feature here, engineering tool, from the engineering tool. So both the edges have been rounded, and I'm going to make the hole now, say using extrusion or the hole feature, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to draw the circle and extrude it. The dimensions you have to change it to 12 as the diameter of the circle. The center is matched. It is a concentric circle. The earlier arc, that semicircle that you have made. So I'm just changing the direction of extrusion and matching it with the edge. And yeah, so that part is done. So next thing is like I'm supposed to draw the slot. I'm going to cut it here. So at this place, I have to cut it for 4 mm thickness if I'm right. So I have to draw a rectangle in that plane and extrude it. So that will be done. So this you can do it on your own, I suppose. So you have to align it to the center. All those things you should take care. So once it is aligned, the thickness will be on both sides will be equal from the center line. So once it is extruded, the cut part is obtained. So after that, the only thing left is the slots at the bottom, say 2 semicircular slots for the bolts to be fixed. So I can choose that base plate, that top surface of the base plate is taken, and use and draw that part. So I'm going to skip the video a little ahead. So draw the semicircles at the end of the square on the rectangle and extrude it. So you get the first lot. So once this is done, you can use the mirror feature to say mirror this slot on the other side. So you know how to do it. Use this vertical plane as the mirror plane, and just click the mirror part. So it is going to create the this feature, the slot feature on the next slide, as explained in the earlier videos. So yeah, I think say we have come to the end of yeah. So hopefully it is like rotated. Okay, this video I'm stopping it here. Actually, we thought of explaining how to make a rib, which is not asked for in the exercise. So I'm just going to stop here. You can go ahead, try doing it on your own. If you face any problem while you create it, say come back and watch the video and see how we have solved it. So this probably should give you the start to go ahead and solve. In the second video, I won't be talking, say even this much detail. So it will be mostly the video alone. So it is for you to think and fill the space. Yeah, thank you for watching and listening. We'll have any doubts in the live session, video online lab session. Thank you. Good day.